abandoned right now. Like, you're just like everyone else. You're trying to fucking leave me, and I just don't know
Leave
what
you? You made a decision
you're
and you got caught.
me. Decision to do what? Like,
you linked somebody and you got caught.
it wasn't even that
You went behind my
serious.
back
It
and
wasn't that serious. Stop. Stop.
He was a hooper. You play basketball.
Yes. But it wasn't that serious. Like,
Y'all like
stop.
actually.
Yeah, but it was just a one-time thing, and we used protection. It wasn't even for that long, so I don't even know why you're bugging. Like, it was not even for that long. Like, can you please come back to me? Please?
Get off of me.
Please come back. Like, stop. Just please. Like, you're overreacting.
I'm not overreacting.
I only did it because you didn't answer your fucking phone. Like, you never answer your phone, and you're never there for me. You're literally never there for me. What gym? What gym are you at? Like, what gym opens that? Like, you're a fucking liar. Like, you don't even care about me at all.
Alright, how long was this going on for?
Like, for a month, but it wasn't even that serious.
Did you read off from?
Yeah, but why are you asking me that? It's the graphic inside. Like, where are you going? Do not leave me.
The man in that video did exactly the right thing. The boundary of sexual exclusivity in their relationship was broken by her, and despite her tears, despite her attempts at manipulation, he walked away. And when she reached out to him again, he expressed a new boundary: don't touch me. He did the absolute right thing again by sticking to his boundaries and refusing to be coerced into betraying his boundaries. Boundaries set the limits of how we can interact with another person, where both people can respect themselves and each other. It's something that we should learn growing up, that certain people only want to interact with us under certain conditions. And we can usually find a way of relating to them where what we're comfortable with and what they're comfortable with overlap. And that overlap, or lack thereof, defines if and what sort of relationship there can be. Sometimes, however, we might be taught that other people have a right to override our boundaries and do whatever they want with us. And we might have been punished for speaking up and standing up for ourselves. While this survival mechanism of people-pleasing might have kept us safe in childhood, it's disastrous for adult relationships. I went into adulthood with very weak boundaries, and so I had to learn all of this from scratch. And it was like learning a new language. It was a long process with many lessons to learn along the way. And there are many people like this. In this video, I want to talk about the course of developing healthy boundaries and some of the particular issues that you need to be aware of in that process. Now, before we go any further, it would really help me if you clicked like on this video so the algorithm can push it to more people. And if you want to know when I release a video, remember to click subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. Thank you. So let's address some common misunderstandings. Boundaries are not about controlling other people. Boundaries are not about infringing on another person's freedom. It's about everyone taking adequate measures to protect themselves so that everyone can feel free. We have a generally accepted set of boundaries that we as a society believe should apply to everyone. We codify these into laws. But there's a huge area where some people are very happy to do something, whereas others are not. This is where it's the responsibility of each person to state what they're comfortable with at that time. And if someone bumps into those boundaries before they're stated, before we said anything, then it's our responsibility to speak up. It doesn't have to be a terrible thing when this happens either. It should be normal and expected. They just weren't to know. And if it's acknowledged right away, then things can carry on as normal. This is really important because many people are raised to think that they have to second guess other people, to try to guess where their boundaries are when they know nothing about them. And this leads us into a kind of relational anxiety where we're constantly stressed about not crossing anyone's boundaries while not knowing where they are. Like playing a big game of Battleship, except with emotional missiles. A5. Okay, clear. Okay. B5. You crossed some boundary that I didn't tell you about. Now you deserve to be ashamed forever. But that's not how normal, healthy relationships work. And thinking that you have to play that game with other people just makes you think that you have to play it yourself as well. Never speaking up for yourself makes you a really difficult person to get along with. It forces other people to play a game that they're not used to playing. They never have to play this game with emotionally healthy people, and it's additional work and effort that they don't necessarily need or want to invest. Because life throws enough drama and stress at us to get through without having to second guess another person all the time because they won't speak up for themselves. There's no way to fix this other than to start doing it, even if it feels really weird and you don't feel like doing it. You get used to speaking up for yourself by speaking up for yourself. But once we learn that we can speak up for ourselves and seeing that nothing bad happens, we start to be able to state and enforce our own boundaries. We get more and more confident in this new skill, and we may decide to cut people off who don't treat us well. We begin to learn that we don't have to value every single friendship equally, regardless of how much effort the other person is making or lack thereof. We start to put in the skill of valuing ourselves into action, and we get closer to having healthy relationships. However, we often aren't yet so familiar with when to state boundaries, and it can be done in socially uncalibrated ways. Or someone might not find out about it until well after the event. Boundaries have firm lines, but often people are very sensitive about heading in a direction that comes close to those lines. I remember myself also not knowing how to send warning shots when things weren't going in a direction that I was totally happy with. I was okay with stating things overtly, but I didn't realize just how much of this was communicated through subtle shifts in behavior. I just held a big detonate button.
Kaboom! Yes, Rico. Kaboom.
And would sometimes press it as a first and only resort, rather than the last resort. Learning to simply say things like, "I don't like that," early on in our relationships is a really important step to setting the tone for the rest of the relationship and shaping how it will look. Every human being is capable of shitty behavior, and you get the relationships you tolerate. People will only treat you as badly as you continue to let them. But if we express our dissatisfaction in a timely manner, if we nip problems in the bud before they grow into big problems, we stand a much better chance of being able to keep the relationship than if we leave it all to the end when it gets too much and we have to end the relationship instead. We can learn to steer the relationship away from things that are going to be problematic rather than waiting until the last minute when habits have become reinforced and resentment has already started to set in. In previous relationships, I made the mistake of not wanting to lose the girl so much that I wouldn't speak up about things that I didn't like, because I wanted to keep her liking me. But it's human nature to test boundaries. We've been doing it since we were babies, and one thing that's very important in female attraction is knowing that a man will stand up for himself. That kind of man is someone that she can feel safe leaning against, but before this, first she will unconsciously test to see if you're steady enough to stand firm.
I like to test guys in the relationship. Like, I like to see if they can overpower me. So I act crazy. Like, I act like a total in the beginning because I want to see if they can control me and put me in my place. And if they can't, then I will run circles around them like I did with my husband.
I want you to hear what she said. She's being honest here. She's saying something that like some people would like not see as positive. She's being honest. So Will didn't let her not run circles around him. And two things happen. Number one, she runs circles. Number two, it begins a spiral of a lack of respect that goes down and down and down. Because you don't set these boundaries, she loses respect for you and she loses attraction for you. That's why you have to set these boundaries as a man. And if you don't, then she's just going to go do whatever.
So in trying to be overly patient and holding my tongue so that she would continue to be attracted to me, so that she would keep liking me, I ended up destroying her attraction to me instead. As with many things, when we betray ourselves, when we don't stand up for ourselves, we often achieve the opposite of what we're trying to do. So when you feel that you aren't being treated the way you want to be treated, speak up. Early, clearly, and honestly. You're welcome.